Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, friends. Welcome. This is REtoken, the real estate DAO, hanging out here with Yonks and the rest of the REtoken crew. In not any particular order, we've got Blur's Day, Jay-Z, Julie, Mrs. Yonks, Crush, and D-Sign, White Hat, and Poopster. Welcome, everybody, and very excited here for, again, our 21st community call. And the POAP tonight, we are coming back to Polygon, which is the L2 chain that we have built REtoken, the real estate DAO on, as well as Token Town, the HOA destroyer, and we're going to be talking more about that, especially at the upcoming Token Summit that's going to be launching International DAO Day on February 22nd of 2022. And let's actually just jump right into our agenda. Over here, we've got Trello. This is the tool that we're currently using for getting all the things done. And over here on the roadmap, this is kind of like where Token Summit DAO is being born from, is the roadmap over here for REtoken. And I'm going to show this real quick. On our last community call, we talked about putting forward a proposal that is now Treasury distribution TDP 24. And the way that we do our governance here at REtoken, we have, and let's actually just go to, real quick, let's navigate for those that may not be familiar. So just go into snapshot.org. Here's all the different DAOs, Web3, whatever, using this for governance framework. I'm currently connected here with yonks.eth, and we're up to 4.7 thousand spaces, and you can find REtoken here, REtoken DAO, and you can join that if you would like to follow our proposals. So again, we're talking about TDP, Treasury Distribution 24, allocation of the Polygon Ecosystem DAO Give Grant. And this is one of the things, you can see the forum here, and I'll just open that up in another tab real quick. This is a grant that we submitted back in November that got fulfilled to the tune of, let's see, right here is we updated this back in November for a 10K give grant request, and this was distributed into our Gnosis multi-sig. I'll go ahead and open that too, because I like showing some of the best practice tools that we have in place here. And let's actually go ahead and just hop right in to, so this is Triple Win Foundation. We're talking right now about the REtoken, and this one is actually on Polygon because Polygon is a L2 chain. And this is the give grant that we're talking about right here. And this was deposited into or transferred in back in, I think it was the 18th of December. So anyway, going back to the proposal, this has three options in the proposal. And there's a good percentage of people that have already voted on this. We still have a decent amount of REtoken holders. And this is basically a call to action if you haven't voted. And we're using this opportunity here during our community call to provide some additional discussion and or clarification. So if you're watching the live stream and if you have any questions about this and you're a REtoken holder, feel free to ask them, and we'll be sure to check back on the live stream prior to this to see if there's any questions, because this is a 4-hour closure. We've had this running now for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days on this particular proposal. So the three options that we put forward was the, and this is again summarizing what was in the updated milestones that I just showed you on the forum post. And then it talks about the virtual summit, which was over here on our roadmap. It's the only thing that we've got on our roadmap for Q1 of 2022. And let me show you like real quick, this is a slight tangent, but I've got the Notion page over here for where we're doing all of the planning for Token Summit DAO. And as you can see, we've got a whole day allocated for real estate, social tokens and security tokens on February 23rd. And that's one of the things that we're wanting to talk about here tonight, as far as right now, when we click on the agenda, there's not really, it's a blank page right now. So the opportunity for us to really use our positioning, since it's the majority of our team that are going to be building out Token Summit DAO, we have the opportunity to basically design the format for what we want this to look like based upon input here. So that's a little bit of a tangent. Coming back to the snapshot proposal. So the three options that we put forward was Creator DAO. And that's something that myself and Poopster are founding 100 members of Creator DAO. And those conversations, I felt that we tried to move those through here over the last month with Creator DAO. And that's one of the options, is that we could continue to move those, or attempt to move those conversations forward. The other option that we are putting forward is option B, Token Summit DAO, where we're taking 50% of this gift grant proceeds to basically build out Token Summit DAO. And that will be up to Token Summit DAO using the governance mechanism that is already in place there for Token Summit DAO. And those conversations will happen there. And then the other 50% got split up between getting a website for our new domain. We, in December during REtoken relaunch, we acquired RET.team. And let me just open this right here to show everybody the amazing opportunity that we have. It's a blank site, completely out of the box, using WordPress 2021 theme that is included there. Very classic, hello world, just another WordPress. I mean, it doesn't get any more out of the box WordPress than that. So and then, like, whenever we built our tokentown.net, those people that were on the working groups there can attest. Now, it is a functional site. I mean, the thing that's fabulous, even though it's pretty basic, you can go through the process of acquiring a Token Town Colorado founding citizen. We did that with James Zerix from the Fabric here just a week or so ago on a live stream. So shout out to you guys, the Fabric there, and it'll be interesting to see how those conversations unfold. So that was, again, option B, is to 50% Token Summit DAO and then 50% REtoken / Token Town to get a better website presence. And that's one of the things that I've continued to suggest here on REtoken right now. Until we get our security token path dialed in, we're largely a content / and most often that's referred to as a media DAO. And the poster child for a successful media DAO, I would say, is Bankless DAO. And then option C, need more discussion. So this is functionally what we're doing here. And again, I'm going to stop talking and see if there's anybody that would like to chime in some thoughts, concerns, questions here that's on the Zoom. And welcome, Amy. We're just talking about our snapshot proposal for the Polygon ecosystem DAO grant. I'm going to stop talking and let you all chime in some thoughts here. Get a drink of my tea.
I'm really excited to have a functional website. I think it's going to be super important, absolutely, for Token Summit, but for Token Town, for REtoken, it would just be really nice to start getting that SEO, have a blog, have member profiles if people want to. I know some of you guys prefer to be anonymous, but if you want a profile, we can put that on there. We just have lots of options.
Yeah, so I was going to chime in. So we had the discussion already, but if you don't mind, Yonks, can you give the elevator pitch on what Creator DAO was offering for $4,500 and what brought forth this proposal to perhaps seek another avenue, which is option A, or option B, I mean.
And to clarify, it's 4,500 Matic, which is about the 10
9,000.
grand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So depending on the number go up, number go down, and I mean this is fluctuated here in our multi-sig anywhere from 9 to 13K, depending on number go up and number go down, which it does with Matic, because Matic isn't a stable coin. So the and Creator DAO has a fairly successful format for creating content for the Web3 ecosystem. And like a good example of a client that is currently refreshed with Creator DAO is Citadel, and that's relevant to us because we just hosted over here, and I'll bring up that because hopefully everybody's seen it. It was absolutely a fabulous YouTube AMA that Mrs. Yonks and I hosted. Mrs. Yonks did the heavy lifting on that, but it was a fabulous AMA with them. And one of the things that we really appreciated about that, and I'll share that if somebody wants to put that in like the whatever it's called on the for the live stream for people. So we did this AMA with Citadel, and they are currently a Creator DAO client who has refreshed another sequence. So and that was something that we thought would be strategic to do. And now with where we're at with Token Summit, and like some of the feedback that I got there is that their packages are more expensive than whenever this situation unfolded. And like, let me actually go provide here real quick, because I did an update, and this is one of the things as the project lead with for the grant request, the Polygon ecosystem, being good stewards of the grant proceeds, have requested that the project leads provide a monthly update. And this is something that I provided 11 days ago. And first of all, I thanked Polygon Ecosystem DAO for their vote of confidence by awarding us with the GIVE grant. And that was something I provided the transaction record. So again, this is just providing, and this was something that, again, to just bring this more full circle on the discourse here on, and the URL here, if somebody wants to throw this on the, let me get the link here for this one. I think it's this one right here. Something around here. So if somebody wants to put that in the live stream, that would be fabulous. So this is the monthly update that I provided, again, not quite 2 weeks ago. Talked about some accomplishments. We successfully sold our first Token Town founding citizen, and that was something that I already alluded to earlier. And then blockers. We would be interested in hearing feedback from any other Polygon ecosystem DAO projects that are contemplating engaging with Creator DAOs. So again, that was something that I had tried to figure out how we, REtoken Token Town, could get put in the client pipeline there at Creator DAO. And I was asking if on the weekly calls that Mrs. Yonks and I and Design and maybe some other people had participated in at the Creator DAO, if they had worked with any other grantees through the Polygon Ecosystem DAO. And this was, again, a collaboration, I think, between the eDAO and Creator DAO. So, and then I identified some resources seeking. It's not necessarily relevant to the conversation here. So it was just like, I didn't really see that we had a clear path to fruition there at Creator DAO. And then the opportunity with where we're at. And again, Token Summit, this is something that we've had on our roadmap for a while. And this is something that I've kind of been building up to for a period of time. Because like the token, like looking here on the timeline on our Notion page, like I sent this tweet out for Token Summit DAO back on October 22nd, and then everybody's seen this more than a couple times. And let me open this here in a bigger window because it shows up so much better. So this is something that I've talked about quite a bit as far as the because one of the things that we do here at REtoken that's very different, and this is somewhat related to like the Citadel conversation, which I really respect them for taking this posture regarding residential real estate. Whenever we were having the AMA with Citadel, they made it very clear right now that they don't have any intention of tokenizing residential real estate because they're concerned that that could potentially break the residential market as far as just making residential real estate. And it's something that I think we should be concerned about, because residential real estate, as far as from an ownership, at least here in my myopic view of the United States, is getting increasingly out of reach, because a lot of that's being acquired by corporations or holding companies on an international basis. So like a lot of these orange bubbles over here, like Our Home Cooperative, where we're talking about developing this cooperative housing protocol, felt that that would be best to execute under this foundation type of umbrella through a different DAOs like Crypto House, and like the vision for Token Town, Colorado, where we're wanting to do, do some type of shared equity appreciation model. But not only that, with using, and this was kind of like a lot of you know, with the American-made Solar Prize project that we participated in, still wanting to do net positive housing and then utilize that net positive energy to power either Bitcoin or crypto mining operations there in Crypto House. And I know that this is a little bit of a tangent, but to come back there, does that answer your question as far as Creator DAO and where the things, to provide a little additional perspective for you?
Yeah, thanks.
Fabulous. Does anybody else have any questions on, and if you haven't voted, only 4 hours, I'll probably send out an email. I need to do, or we need to do a better job communicating on the emails. And this is something that I think that we'll really get some more experience with surrounding Token Summit DAO, and then take what we have learned and be able to put some other things in place here at REtoken. But again, any other questions here on snapshot proposal? TDP 24, this is an important one, but yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. All right, so that was the first agenda item. Let me go back to our very brief agenda. The other thing wanting to spend some conversations on is planning our participation. And until we get something better, this is the main hashtag that using for Token Summit DAO, International DAO Day on February 22nd. And again, like, the main opportunity that I'm really wanting us to think about is over here on the agenda for this, and the social tokens. And this is, again, 3 days, February 21st, going to be focused on NFTs, February 22nd, DAO Day 2/22/22, and then February 23rd. This is the one that I'm wanting us to really be thoughtful as far as creating what the agenda is. And then, like, one of the things too, we are functionally going to be the first, and whether we want to call this a sponsorship, and this is something that we have the opportunity to figure out what this is going to look like this money that we're providing or basically circulating from Polygon ecosystem, how that we want to position this with, and whether we're looking through a REtoken lens or a Token Summit DAO lens. Is this going to be a sponsorship or what? So I don't know if we necessarily need to make a decision on that, but the main opportunity is really like coming up with a solid agenda, and again, being able to position ourselves, but then also bring in, because this can be a great opportunity to bring in other people, like potentially security token partners, solution partners for our own real estate tokenization. So does that make sense? And I don't know if we want to just do some brainstorming here and make some notes on this. Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I've got a short list if we are going to brainstorm that, or I can just put it in there if we're not. Whatever works is fine. By the way, guys, I know several of you, we added you all as admins to this thing, and then I didn't realize that Notion charged per month per person, so we changed all the admins to Jason and DSign only, and then the rest of everybody else just on there as a guest with editing privileges. So if you saw your permissions change, it's because we'd like to spend $20 a month instead of 80. I think we had 8 admins. So that was where that was. I think it may be, yeah, so we're in the free trial right now. And then actually, thanks to Julie and Amy and all this fabulous research that they did, we're actually running out of space in our free plans. So now we got to upgrade. So good job, Julie. But yeah, on the, that's probably going to be.
That was all Julie. Thank you, Julie.
No, Julie, don't be sorry at all. That was fantastic. I can't believe how your mind works. I'm like insanely jealous and look up to you, and you're so organized. Is brilliant. It's fantastic. So anyway, what I was going to say was, if we're going to do this, just brainstorming partners, we can. I've got some potential partners I wanted to throw on the list, and then also I want to talk about kind of categories of partners that we need to reach out to.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've got time here regarding the real estate and security tokens, because again, I think that's one of the value propositions where this can fulfill, like participating in the token summit, but then also further along the conversations for us, REtoken, because these are conversations that we need to have here leading up to a real estate tokenization. Because now that Mrs. Yonks and I are back in Colorado, we're wanting to tokenize a cooperative housing situation because we believe the more and sooner that we can start like proving out this business model, the easier it will be having like a couple proof of concepts already deployed to say, okay, well, we've already went down this path. Here's case study A, case study B, C, D. Okay, so like the token summit where we're wanting to build like an entire neighborhood, it'll be a lot easier for people to really like, okay, well, you guys already have a proven track record. So that's kind of like just to put things into perspective where we're wanting to go and how it can play into like the token summit and the REtoken strategy here in Q1, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm just breaking out some headers here. And I don't know if I don't think that this is necessarily the best place, but on the real estate tokens, and this is another opportunity that we have, because like one of the things I'm not wanting the efforts to just completely dissipate for like REtoken. Like one of the things that I've had conversations with Mrs. Yonks about is this, like we already showed the how to own real estate for $100 or less that we did here with Citadel. So the opportunity of having more of those conversations with other real estate token providers here, you know, because having that conversation only takes 1 hour of time. So if there's like any projects that would fall under that category that you would like to see us have in that conversation, because that's one of the things that we would like to put in our very tight schedule here over the next couple of weeks as well. And those conversations could potentially bubble up into Token Summit DAO participation as well. So does anybody have any projects that they would like to like have on for an, because the goal with this too is not to repurpose this live stream into a podcast so that people can consume that content however they would like.
Well, something that we were doing with the DAO Hack, our podcast, was doing these just really casual informational interviews with random people. So if you guys want, while we're in absolute go mode for Token Summit, we could just make this weekday call like a real estate podcast until we get back, and then go full bore back into REtoken. I don't know what anybody thinks about that.
In my opinion, I think we're on a very, very aggressive schedule for a summit. And if that's what we're really, we're going to try to do something for next month, all efforts should be focused on that.
Okay. Well, then Jason, pull back up on actually, no, I take that back. Does anybody else have thoughts on that different? Do we just want to just repurpose this call too into more for Token Summit?
I second Blur's Day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is Amy. I second that.
I think Amy should have Taylor should have kept everyone on the Notion page and start charging everyone $20 a month for admin costs on the Notion.
Well, if you guys want to pay it, then we can. One of the things that is really interesting in one of our other DAOs, they use a guest with editing rights instead of just a pure admin. So I think, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only difference between a guest who can edit and an admin is that an admin can add and remove participants. But as far as what you'd actually be working on, creating tables, adding content, whatever, I think you can do that all as a guest who edits.
I tried to edit and I can't edit. So
All right. Well,
I think we have to put a plan in place here on the like, I'm trying to see where it is, settings and members, and then upgrade. I think we have to be at least
Julie said that she can edit it.
What's that?
Julie just put in the chat that she can edit it still. I put up an edit link, a link with edit access. You have to make sure that you click that one.
I was able to edit, or I didn't try to save or anything, but I was able to click on the edit button and it went to the screen.
all right, cool. Well, Amy, Desan, can you connect with Amy and make sure she's got the right link, and let's all get together on that.
Again in Discord right now so everybody knows where it is.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Cool. And Desan, thanks for all your hard work on this. You have been a rock star. So very noticed and appreciated. So one of the things that
I prefer Web3 badass.
I like it. That's good.
I like
and
that.
I just want to congratulate you again on becoming psychologically unemployable. Julie's the next one we want to break out of fiat farming. Blur's Day, I don't know if you're ready yet, but you're on the list.
I'm a long way.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll get there. I was a long way too, and then here we are. So there you go. Okay, so Jason, for real estate tokenization, do you want to talk about potential actual names or categories, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I think like coming up with some categories, and this is something I think that Amy has been advocating that we do, is just kind of like break out some framework and then work. It's easier if we have kind of like some slots that we can start working on filling in instead of just having a blank page to talk about things. So going back to the like, we've got this snapshot proposal that's ending here in less than 4 or 5 hours. Do we want that to be positioned as like a sponsorship, or how do we want this? Because I mean, this is again an opportunity that we have to just amplify like how that this is going to be done in some type of communication manner.
Well, Julie put together a really great list of sponsors of past conferences and several others that I think that's a great list to start with to see if any of their interests align with ours. And then I'd also just start putting on a lot of the people that we've talked to, DigiShares, T0, Vertalo, a lot of those people I think would be great.
Oh, we lost her.
Yeah, I don't know if it looks like she's got the mute on.
I
I'm getting pretty robot Tyler on my end here.
Here, let me I just turned my headset off. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So I would say Vertalo, DigiShares, T0, Oasis. Do you want me to write these down? Are you writing them down, or what do you want me to do on this?
Well, I think you're putting in like businesses or companies, and I think the opportunity, instead of just like what do we want to because like having some agenda, because like one of the things that I think provides a lot of value is having and more fun in this type of a format is doing some type of like panel discussion. So coming up with some like panel discussion topics. Like I know one that was a lot of fun at the Digital Assets and Securities Conference that Vertalo hosted was a kind of like this debate between key people that were trying to position their blockchain project the best blockchain for security security tokens. So doing a similar panel like that would be a lot of fun, and I guess I can just make note of that here under a security tokens. Let's see, panel discussion, like battle of the blockchains. Which blockchain project is best for security tokens? And then getting like, and then that's one that we could fill in, with some participants that I think would be an absolutely fun and fabulous. And then, whether it was like Teresa at the Digital Assets and Securities Conference, she was on a panel discussion for real estate. And that's another type of a panel that we could potentially have, as far as, we all have different perspectives on real estate tokenization. And I mean, we're taking a very different path to market than some other projects are taking. So I'm a fan of panel discussions, especially in this type of a format, but and the opportunity to potentially sprinkle in, like if it's a sponsor like REtoken, the opportunity for us to have a slot here, whether it's like a 15-minute or a 30-minute slot to talk about like Token Town, because one of the goals that we had here on, and this is just going back to this forum post, like the marketing campaign goals, and I don't think that they necessarily need to change, is sell out our Token Town founding citizen. Right now, we've only sold 5. And I think the opportunity to have a lot more exposure through this. Then the other one is gain awareness for REtoken Token Town. And again, us having a 15 or 30-minute slot here at Token Summit would definitely fulfill that. And then the viral marketing campaign, I think the Token Summit DAO will definitely fulfill that, and then also create a profit center for us. So that's kind of, does anybody else have some thoughts as far as some panel discussions, as far as some topics? I put out a battle of the blockchains as one that I would love to see myself.
My suggestion is if we can kind of have a designated theme for each day that we are on, and then we can put companies or DAOs that are interested in, sponsoring that block, and
Yeah.
then they can.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Amy. This is the soft agenda that we came up with. So let us know if you think that'll work. One day about NFTs, one day about DAOs, and the third day about tokens.
Yeah, and primarily since we are trying to adopt other people into the DAOs, make sure that we have a topic about DAOs, how to sign up. I think Jason has a lot of YouTube information about that. Let them consume the initial ones for that, and then introduce the whatever topic we have for each day, and just to let people know what we're all about. Since this is our first summit, it's like an intro to everyone, because we might have people that don't know anything about DAO and just curious to know about DAO, may not know who Jason is, don't know where in YouTube and all that. So it's an intro for them to kind of take all that information in, even on their own time. I don't know if the freebie tickets we have would allow them to do that. Um, I just don't know what the structure is right now. In order for us to ask for sponsorship, we should have it aligned with the theme that we have, so they won't feel like out of place.
Yeah, so we've got, did you, and I don't know if you can see it where you're at, but we do have the summit agenda broken down, and like what been talking about here is on the 23rd, looking at doing, focusing on, and all of these days are going to be talking about tokens, because I mean, it is Token Summit after all, but specifically on the 23rd, that's one that I felt just from a timing standpoint, like NFTs are all the rage right now. So like that, I think being on the front side, and then DAO Day 222 right there in the middle. And then on the last day, do the real estate, social tokens, and security tokens. And like one of the things too that I think would be worthwhile to talk about, and I don't know if we should, because it might be better, and again, we can kind of move this around, but so is that kind of what we're looking for, Amy, as far as like some agenda? Like right now we've got this broken down on the 23rd of real estate, social tokens, and security tokens.
I think on the first day we need to put aside like half of that day would be about the DAOs, and you can put the NFT metaverse kind of information on the second half of the day, because like you said, that's all the rage right now. But I think you need to include the metaverse, because this is fast growing, and I've seen metaverse room go to 600 people in one room, even on Clubhouse. So that needs to be addressed. If you are, yeah, there you go. That needs to be addressed also, so people will go in learning what DAO is, and then jumping right on to the NFT metaverse information. That's all.
Awesome. And depending on how the agenda fleshes out too, like, I mean, we could potentially move the social tokens into DAO Day, because I mean, there's a lot of overlap there, and it just again depends on who that we get for like the speakers. And I think the opportunity for us to have more speakers in play, but we've got only 10 minutes left here for the REtoken community call, and wanting to see, so help me reframe this. So are we wanting to just pause the community call and just focus on Token Summit? I mean, help me understand what we're proposing or discussing here.
I think that's what I think that's where everybody's going. Is we are on a pretty aggressive timeline. We've got a lot of work to do. REtoken is going to, I assume, benefit pretty substantially from the press, the exposure, the community, getting it out there, the partnerships that we're going to make through this. So I don't think there's anything that REtoken's on shelf at all, but we probably need all heads on deck for this thing to make it go.
Is that the stance that we want to everybody take? I mean, and to be clear, like, this is something that, like, I'm totally committed to REtoken and real estate tokenization, and I don't want. Go ahead.
We all are. I think the big thing is REtoken is going to benefit from this conference. If this conference is an absolute home run, then REtoken will absolutely benefit from this. There may be some small possibility that we sell out the rest of the governance of Token Town, or we find the partners that we're looking for, or I mean, there's so many benefits that could come to REtoken from this thing being just a home run.
So on the subject of Token Summit, I want to propose something. Simply because of the timeline. So we got this WordPress site up, and it's not quite done yet. So the original idea was to sell like a package to every partner that wanted to be in the conference with. That would include like a page on the Token Summit website. I don't know if that's realistic. I think it's going to be a lot of work to get that set up, and I just don't know. I don't think that I have the bandwidth to take care of it, and I don't know if it's worth it for the team to try and figure it out. I think instead, like, doing everything in Discord, doing as much of it as possible in Discord is is the ideal version of this in my mind, because I just don't think that we can set all of it up in time, honestly. If we're gonna like make an individual multi-site page for every partner that we have, I think it would be good to have like a partner's page that we keep up to date. But I don't think it's a good idea to have a dedicated page for every partner that we have come in.
Yeah, that's good feedback. Is there a better or different way to track affiliates? Because one of the biggest things is, if we're going to be doing these pretty juicy affiliates for partner communities. Oh, Julie had a good idea about Mighty Networks too. So I'm going to come back to that, Julie. Yeah, but the whole idea with the individual landing pages was to push affiliates. So we could put a bottom, or we could put a floor on that. Like it's only for $10,000 and up sponsors, or if you buy a package of that many tickets in advance, then you get a landing page. Other than that, you don't. I mean, that would curb it pretty significantly. or something like that. Then we would just have the serious partners getting landing pages. But is there a better way through Discord that we can track the affiliates?
I'll have to do some research on that.
I think that's the main thing was for marketing, and just trying to figure that out. And then Julie had an idea about Mighty Networks. You're right, Julie, they do the affiliate programs. They do have the ambassadors. They have the ability to do all that. So do we want to use this? I don't know what the token gating is with Mighty Networks and Design.
That's my biggest concern with Mighty Networks is we're wanting to do an NFT ticketed event here, and I don't think that the unlock protocol works there. And I'm still trying to understand how that would work with Discord from a workflow standpoint, but that's something that we can have some more conversations about here tomorrow or Friday or this weekend, because we will be having all the conversations about Token Summit. And I do want to just show, thanks Design for all that you've done here on tokensummit.xyz. I still think that we could potentially come up, and what Design was talking about here, this is WordPress multi-site where we've got REtoken, and this is, again, you saw the out of the box. This is, again, the same out of the box that exists on ret.team. And the goal would be to have like, and this is something that I do want to talk about here too. And I don't know if this would add some additional complexity, but like the way that we're wanting to have a value proposition or this value ladder is we're wanting to provide the Token Summit like a free event and then provide an upsell dynamic. And I don't know if this will be too hard to execute, but like one of the things that we could do to, again, just provide a higher value proposition with these potential partnered communities, and REtoken will functionally be the first partnered community with Token Summit DAO. And like one of the opportunities, we've got people that have contributed to REtoken that hold REtoken. So like one of the things that we've been having some conversation about that hasn't went further yet, and this is something that we could potentially explore here as far as like the first step on the value ladder. Like the bigger one would be somebody paying whatever that number is, whether it's like $97 or $150 or $250 or $500. We haven't made that decision yet, but the big value ladder is obtaining the replay rights, because the goal is to have this content be where somebody, because we're wanting to have so much content that it's unrealistic for somebody to consume it within this 3-day window, but it's going to be a perceived and I think going to be valuable where can come back and replay, whether it's like one particular segment that you really got a lot of value at, or there was just so much that you couldn't participate in because you're doing the fiat farming thing and participating in 12 hours, or potentially like something that I could really see happen is we have multiple speakers running at the same time slot on different virtual stages. So where I was going with this first value ladder proposition is like, say, hey, somebody that holds 100 REtoken could potentially get maybe a two-week replay pass, and then like the next one might be 30 days, and then the next one might be 90 days, or whatever the case may be. Because right now we're road mapping having Token Summit, and unless things change, we're talking about 6/22, so 4 months from February, and then another 4 months after that would be 10/22/22. So
hey babe, Julie just posted the blockchain real estate link with the replay option. And Julie, so number one, thanks for pointing that out. Jason actually went to that conference in Austin. I think it was last September or something like that. And he said it was a really great conference. So one of the, add those people to the list if they're not already on there. And then the summit recording, and then they're doing this conference again. And one of their upsells now is you can also buy prior year. I think it's this conference, or it's one of the conferences I was looking at. You can buy prior year recordings. So that's another opportunity for us is once we do this, assuming that we do this either multiple times a year or annually or whatever, once we have this recording, we can always just offer prior years at a discounted rate and sell them again.
Yeah, and we deliver a home run here on our first one out that will only lay a solid foundation for amplifying that success, because I think that there's a huge need and opportunity, because I haven't seen an accessible virtual conference that provides like because there's a lot of conferences in person, but attending those is always a barrier of entry just from a cost and the travel and the COVID concern. Like I think I was just talking to Mrs. Yonks earlier, like everybody that comes to ETH Denver is going to have to be rapid COVID tested or something is currently, I think, the current dynamic there. So we're already like 2 minutes past the hour. So if I'm hearing what everybody's saying right now, we're going to pause the community call. Go ahead, Tyler.
Hey, Jay-Z was just making a point about a point system. Jay-Z, can you talk? Do you want to share more what you're talking about?
Yeah, so maybe you can have a pass, but you can accumulate the points based on we need volunteer in the summit, and you can accumulate points. That way you can earn through the point and you can have better rewards later. Something similar that fashion.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
Well, and to just amplify that, I think that that's something that we should absolutely incorporate into our tokenomics, because like we literally here within the last 24 hours minted 222,222,000 Token Summit DAO ERC20 tokens. So the opportunity of incorporating in our token for Token Summit DAO into conference participation, and or we can get pretty creative with the tokenomics. Like I think the biggest thing that we need to decide on that is just some high level stuff, but the tokenomics conversations will unfold in like incorporating that. I love that, because that's the kind of the plan with our ERC20 social token for Token Summit DAO, is to utilize that and really like be generous with people that are participating in this dynamic, but then also create a sustainable and consistent tokenomics situation where we can have longevity, because this is just one component of building this triple win dynamic under the Triple Win Foundation and creating a free virtual summit. But yeah, we're already 5 minutes. I saw D-Sign saying that he's got to drop. Any final thoughts here? So if I'm hearing everybody, like right now, we're going to pause. This is community call number 21, and we're going to focus here the next 4 or 5 weeks. So we will be back, I guess, the end of February for our next REtoken, and we'll be positioned very well. As Mrs. Yonks was saying, we have the opportunity to really craft a solid agenda that we will probably receive a substantial yield from going forward here in 2022.
Excellent work, Jason. Now, I wanted to say that we can create NFTs. Let's create NFTs, and Design has created a website, so we can ask other projects or people or individuals for donation in order for them to get an NFT. So they put certain amount, minimum amount, this amount, and maximum amount is up to people. And that's going to be not as a sale, but rather donation to the cause of the Token Summit. So it's more like a donation or grants. Okay, that's you can speak to your lawyers or whoever in terms of legality of it. But I think donation is fine. And then that money can be spent slowly build up the project. So let's create like 1,000 token, 1,000 NFTs, 1,000 NFTs, and you're gonna have a target that this amount of money we want to raise out of this, and those NFTs are gonna have some sort of reward in the future once the project come to life when you launch completely. Could be that can be connected to the metaverse or some sort of facilities they get, ongoing facilities they will be enjoying out of those, holding those tokens. So I think instead of supplying tokens in the market, which you cannot do because of the security issues and whatnot, so to go around that is to create NFTs and have people donate on that. And maybe people want to, if it's a cool NFTs, we can invite good artists to create NFTs artwork, and that's going to be 3D NFTs. And I know a few people. I can suggest to a few people. You probably know a lot of people from Open DAO community as well. So let's create the NFTs, and the NFTs are going to be in the website where people will be coming and minting. And if they want to go ahead selling the OpenSea, it's up to them, individual. So NFTs roadmap. So anyone can go to the website, and that will be they can mint that. NFTs will be pre-minted and will be the contract will be as such that all the NFTs will be minted within the contract. And when people go and interact with the contract, they will be able to pay a certain amount of money, minimum and maximum, whatever. And then they will be able to execute the transaction. And that money would go to the treasury as a donation, not as a sales. So, and then that could be used for further development of token summit.
Well, that's what we've been advocating with like Unlock Protocol, where we will be providing the NFT. It's going to be an NFT ticketed event using right now the main NFT protocol that we're looking to use is Unlock Protocol. So I think that that's what we've been envisioning all along. And then like the opportunity on the upsell for this value ladder, you know, they could potentially get more, you know, token ERC20 tokens from Token Summit DAO. So that's, and I don't know if that's a technical capability or if that would have to be an add-on, but I think that that's what we've been suggesting all along, and we just have to figure out how we're going to execute that as far, but that's I think what we've been, at least that's what I've been envisioning we create all along here.
I'd be extremely cautious about guaranteeing some kind of profit from saying that we're going to add some kind of profit to these NFTs or some kind of future revenue.
I would agree with that for sure, and that's one of the things that don't want to do. What we're talking about here is a very simple, like where like a partnered community, because when you're talking about the future revenue, that's when you get into the securities standpoint. And what we're talking about here is just a super simple like affiliate dynamic where the partnered community would receive 80%. And this is, again, not something that's set in stone, but we've been talking like a 80-20 split where the partnered community would receive the majority of that upsold for that you know, NFT ticketed event. And I don't think we're talking at least because that's when you're talking about splitting of the future revenues, that's definitely where you start getting into the securities regulations, because like the social token for Token Summit DAO is strictly going to be a governance token. And one of the things that we're going to be very intentional about from a budgeting standpoint is taking any of the proceeds from the ticket sales or from sponsorships and then using the agreed upon mechanism there to allocate that and not really for sure talk about any share of future revenue. But we're already 11 minutes past the hour. We're going to be, again, having lots of conversations. So just to summarize here, what I'm hearing, we're going to put the pause on the REtoken, focus on Token Summit here for the next 5 weeks, building up to International DAO Day on 2/22/22. And if you've got a better hashtag for something, I really like that one. And then, if we when we proceed with doing one, we can just flip that from a 2/22/22 to a 6/22/22 and a 10/22/22, assuming that we want to keep pace. And a lot of that will depend on the feedback that we get. And that's one of the things I think that we need to be very intentional about throughout this process, is collecting as much feedback from everybody throughout the process so that we can reduce the learning curve and then make it easier to deliver an even better experience for future events. Any final thoughts here? Community Call 21. It may be late February or March till we do Community Call 22 from the sounds of it. And this is one of the things too, if we've got Coordinate underway, and we'll take that offline as far as the conversation on that, because I think that the general consensus was that it probably would make more sense to pause the Coordinate there. And that would be just one less thing to keep up with here, and then just deliver a home run so that we can get better position for future growth and success here in 2022. Final thoughts before we call it a wrap here, everybody?
Just everybody crank your stuff into Notion. We've got all this, all your ideas, all your thoughts, just get them all in there, because we are not going to have time to wait from call to call to kind of gather ideas and talk about them first. Just get them all in there and let's start brainstorming together and working on them. And if you're not already in Token Summit DAO Discord, I've been putting stuff in REtoken, but I'm going to try and start putting everything in Token Summit. So please get over there if you're not already.
I'm going to suggest that the community calls, since they were and will in the future be REtoken, only temporarily switching over to the Token Summit, that we still post those the Wednesday calls in there, in both.
Okay, sure.
So do you want to just switch it to a Token Summit DAO Wednesday community call? Just change the.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was just to not have the events only in Token Summit DAO, because it's mostly this group that shows up, but we want to be open. If somebody who hasn't been involved before or hasn't been involved in a while wants to pop in, I mean, they're always invited.
Well, fabulous. And one thing that's a little bit of, I'm sure people have noticed, but we've been using the Restream account here and other activities, and it'll be interesting to see where this goes as far as us sharing our restreaming format with the rest of the world. And we love this format with you all, and that's one of the reasons that we have been working to amplify that, because we've found it very successful here. We love the friendships that we've created here and the teamwork and the synergy that we've gotten out of this format. So we'll continue to keep people updated on that, but until then, the live stream channel in REtoken is the place where that is, because it's not real easy to toggle back and forth in the Restream portal. So that it is what it is. And if that changes, we'll let you know. But it's something that we're getting a lot of mileage out of. So thank you all for being understanding on that. And we continue to promise to share what we're learning in our other involvement to enhance our own Web3 and DAO game here that we're all learning together here. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. We're going to call this a wrap here. Have a good one.
Okay, good night.
Good night.